Hey everybody, welcome back to High Heels to Happy Feels. I'm Natalie,
I'm Stephanie.
and today we're going to be diving into something that I see come up a lot, and it's manifestation. And I know it's been all over social media the last weeks, months. It's really kind of, yeah, it just lives out
Overwhelming.
there.
Yeah.
It truly is.
Uh-huh.
And the whole idea of the void in manifesting. So I'm not sure you've heard about that. If you've ever felt frustrated because of manifestations aren't happening right now, this one's for you. So let's talk about the word void and actually how that's where our magic happens. So first, let's talk about the instant manifestation myth. So we all love the idea that manifestations are just going to pop right in for us.
Right? I'm gonna
Yeah,
win the lottery. $10,000. I don't ever have to, yeah, $1 million, whatever.
right. But you just think it and boom, or people tell you to have positive
Right.
thoughts.
I wrote it down. It must gonna be happen tomorrow.
Right. I feel aligned in energy. But
Yeah.
this, like everybody has suffered that frustration, and just know that you're not alone. And social media really doesn't help because
No.
people love to show success stories, right?
Huge. You got to keep up with the Kardashians. Hmm.
Right. Well, and they don't post about the losses. And I mean, that's just anyway. But we rarely get to see behind the scenes and the waiting game and the things that people go through when they're doing manifesting. And manifestation is really just not a vending machine.
Amen.
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about today, Steph and I thought it was really important, is the universal timing, universal work, the void. When things feel unclear or like they're falling apart, all of these things that happen in the void. Um, and really identifying, when your manifestation is going to come in and why it hasn't fully revealed itself and all that thing. So the void really feels like I'm stuck or I'm lost or
Hmm.
I'm unsure. And the void's purpose is actually a space of transformation, of being evolving into something. What
Yes.
other instant manifestation myths have we heard?
Oh, divine timing, right? Um, which divine timing is how it happens. It is not a human timeline. We don't
So
get to
true.
decide that, okay, so 1 month from now, this will happen, and then 6 months from now, this will happen, and then 1 year from now. Now we can put it out there. We can absolutely plan. There's certain things we can always can control, but divine timing, it,
Is
it
divine?
it's divine. It manifestation happens when you're ready. So we live in a world where we expect things to happen on our timeline because that is our arrogance. That is us as humans being, right? The universe has a different schedule. If something hasn't shown up for you yet, it's because you're not supposed to have it yet. The pieces aren't there. It's not fully aligned. And it's not that we're doing anything wrong, you're doing anything wrong. Keep manifesting, keep having those conversations, keep talking to spirit.
Mm.
But just remember the universe is preparing something huge for you. And there could be a reason that those puzzle pieces just don't fit quite yet. Um, Impatience is a huge part of that. And I understand. Impatience should be my middle name. That just doesn't, talk you. We know our father. That is not one of those words that is commonly bounced around with a last name like Hurd. It just doesn't happen.
Oh, jeez.
Right? Patience is not a virtue for us, but it's something that has evolved over time with our own spiritual practices and that type of thing. And it's because we just have to be patient and we have to recognize that there's a path and that things aren't aligned for us yet. And it really is divine timing. That delay is in prep for something so much bigger than we can imagine. You might be asking to say, I want to fit into this pair of jeans and it's one size smaller. But you really need to be healthier. You really need to be doing all these things. The universe is having you do a whole bunch of things first, and you find that not only did you fit through those, you went right past onto a size even lower than that, and you get a whole new wardrobe. So don't think small, right? Be like, okay, I'm putting this out there and manifest it and just keep doing that. Right?
She's not passionate about this at all. I
I don't
can't
know.
get a word in edgewise on that. It's a
I know.
really good example of no reason because I was just going to mention like Steph and I've been working on this 6 week course and we've been
Oh
working on
God.
it for months and we had a
This
plan
is the
and
longest 6 weeks ever.
well no but we haven't it's a 6 week program but we've been working on it for months and we had a plan and it was going to be done by this date and then it was going to be done by this date and then we kept learning like one little thing that we hadn't heard before and it's like we really need to incorporate that because that's important that feels powerful.
All right.
And then when we step back and we're talking about manifesting right now, it just makes me laugh because it's easy to look at it in purview because
Oh
the
my
6 week
God.
is now done. We're getting ready to actually put it out. But when we're looking at it in purview, it's like, or in the review mirror is what I should
Yeah.
say. Um, I'm laughing because like we were pushing and
Oh, toxic.
it came on its own time.
And to say that we had deadlines, I mean, guys, we could line out this OneNote for you that it was like the beginning of January of where this was going to be done. And then it was like, okay, but we have to finish this and this first. And we've got this and this. And what about, and what about, and then we finally get to a place where no shit. Yesterday we were down to, and for those that know, we're on a road trip, right? So we're sitting currently in New Mexico on our way to Arizona. And we we had the best laid plans of recording two things yesterday and being done. And as we went back through our old recordings, we went, ugh, ugh, ugh. So we
Universal
legitimately today,
intervention.
oh my God, in the worst capacity, right? I mean, the best because we want to share a good message and we want it to be very powerful. And we've got, there's just a ton in there, so much information. But at the same time, we ended up re-recording what 1 2 weeks 2 3 4 and 6 I think
Yeah, I think those are the ones we recorded.
and these had been recorded over time, right? So it was like we had meticulously waited and broken them up into weeks and all that, and now we're doing this down and dirty. Oh, okay, well, here we go. I guess we're going to go ahead and just re-record the whole damn thing. This was fun. But number one, oh my God, the things we've learned that spirit
Right.
has taught us. Number one, about patience. Number two, about not in your time, my time. Not and but the tools too. There are so many other things we have heard about and learned, and things that we knew, but we hadn't thought of it in terms of using it with intuition and or with or with our soul and living that soul led life. And so, yeah, I mean, guys, really, that is like a perfect use case of manifesting gone haywire because,
Well, and as we were talking about it, I'm like, this is the perfect case. Like if we just got done filming it. So it's so funny because it's this is all about the void being the biggest part of manifestation. That's where we
yeah,
learn the most. That's where we get the most growth out of it. And
yeah,
Stephanie and I are not even feeling that we're walking out of a void right now. And we are. Like that's where we're at in that process. And like Steph mentioned, we learned so much not only about the process, but addition to tools and like little concepts that we had missed or hadn't heard of and here and there. So we kept adding and
yeah.
adding and adding. So it really bolstered the content. It is really where the deep transformation happened.
Oh my God. Right. Well, and then there were stupid things that we hadn't even, we were like, why didn't we include that? We included that
Yeah.
in this course, right? Yeah, that's in this annual one we'll have out. Is that in, why isn't that in the six? Oh, so yeah, that kind of stuff. Spirit spoke. We listened. Yeah.
Yeah. So we
But you're
finally got
right.
it together.
And I hadn't even thought of it as a void. It was just like, why is this such a pain in the ass? Why are you riding me? Why are we why why do we gotta do it again? Why do we gotta do it again?
I'll
Yeah.
have
And
you folks know Stephanie's a lot of fun to hang out in the void with.
remember that middle name I mentioned earlier? Impatient.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Anyway, it's glorious. We're super excited about it. And I hadn't thought about it in terms of the void, but we were there. We were in that spot going, not yet, not yet. Even though manifestation's hot, 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 and it's all everybody talks about, intuition is everywhere, and that's great, and it should be because we need it now in our time more than we ever have. um, in my personal opinion. But I think um, we'll see. I think it'll be a mic drop moment to see what happens and if it's appreciated and accepted the way we appreciate and love it now,
Yeah.
now that it's done.
Right now that it's done, it's just important that everybody understands that the void is not a punishment, it's a preparation.
No, it's not. It's a gift.
It is.
It's it's a gift of time.
It is. And it's not withholding you from anything. It's not withholding your desires. It's not withholding your manifestations. It's not withholding Steph's and my goal from actually getting it out to people and sharing knowledge and building.
Hmm.
Um, it's getting us ready to receive how that's all going to work in this world. And the more you resist it, the longer it stays. And I'll tell you what, Steph and I were in the void for quite some time. And so, Spirit has us sitting together in a hotel room to get this figured out and move us out of the void. And
Uh-huh.
we're blessed for that.
We are. And it's yeah. And it's funny because there were so many things just kind of looking at this, the fear-based part of the void, right? And as Natalie
Mhm.
talked about, that the deepest transformation happens when we are in the void, but that we need all the answers now. And that's not true because it's okay to not know yet and to just trust the process and know that the right answers are coming. That's what faith is all about. And I think that's a really big part of it. But what are some ways that you would think that you can trust the void instead of resisting it?
Um, Stop checking for updates or results or like trust that the process is just gonna flow. It's gonna
Ah,
and let go of rigid timelines. How about that one for you? What's meant for you will not
oh,
pass you by.
right?
What do you think?
Oh my God. But I think that one's like winner, winner, chicken dinner. Oh, it's baby steps, right? Take those small, you don't need to plan the whole thing. Just work on the now, work on what's next. Use that time for self-reflection. We did. I mean, we didn't know why we were paused or why we were being thrown other obstacles in our day job, in our personal lives and things,
Mhm.
but they all came back to really poignant points for us in terms of what we wanted to include that created that pause, that created that shift. And so it became all about literally trusting the process. That timelines thing, though, man, that's a stinker doodle. That
Right?
thing pisses me off. We are project plan oriented chicks. You don't understand. We have lists, we have dates, we have plans for plans. And so when shit goes sideways, it does nothing but piss me off. And so yeah, she's right. I've been a barrel of monkeys for the last few weeks. I've been just fun.
Well,
Um,
our egos get in the way too, and then it's
oh
like,
my
okay,
God.
this was our measurement of success, and our perceived expectations of others, and like all
Yeah.
of this stuff we keep adding on, which just makes it worse and worse and worse.
Right, because it's perceived. It's
Hmm.
perceived. And it was a huge lesson for us to remind us that no one is dying without this content. No one is, no one's calling and saying, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? The only things that we were doing was putting it on ourselves. And so by doing that, we made the stress on ourselves worse, or
Right,
I did.
which of course extends the void.
Yeah, exactly. Which just makes it last longer because then you're not taking those little steps, right? Those little tiny actionable steps that's just like, okay, that's it. One step, little baby ones.
So I'm sure we've got something to go record. So tell me what the final takeaways are for this.
I know we do. We got to wrap this up. It's a quick one today. Down and dirty, down and dirty. Okay, manifestation, not about speed. It's about alignment. I think that is um, a huge piece of it because it's not manifestation is a long-term process, and there are things that will happen instantaneously. And yay, you celebrate those wins, right? When something
Mhm.
happens, or be really smart and manifest a whole bunch of things, including one little one like, I'm going to make the best dinner tonight ever because There you go. That might be an instant win, right? So that kind of stuff, go for it. But everything else, it takes patience. How about you?
Well, just to highlight that, so Stephanie and I are being really specific about the void right now because we do believe in manifestations and aligning your energy and doing the
Hmm.
work and taking the actions. But the void, that was just our focus this week. So if anybody's picking up the vibes that we don't believe in manifestation, we absolutely do,
Oh
but
God, yeah.
you gotta live through the void too, because the void isn't empty. It's where the magic is happening behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, if you've read our journal or you know and how we journal, we manifest every day.
Hmm.
And it'll change up. And sometimes I've been writing one of my manifestations. It's a dream slash manifestation, but it's a long-term goal slash. So I'll rewrite it, but I'll rewrite and change the little nuances of it. And I do it all the time. But I think another good reminder is manifestation is the more you let go, the more things flow. And I liked that line, which is why I read it because I'm like, I know it's written here somewhere. Because the more the more you release things, it's kind of like anything that's toxic. The more you let it go and just are like, okay, just put it out there, bless and release, the more just kind of go, okay, now you're ready. Now you've taken on the attitude I want to see. Now you don't look like you're begging for it and pulling for it and stealing for it. You're just like, oh, I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in that kind of in the line, and I don't mean to keep backing up, but like Steph and I literally just finished recording 6 week. So,
I mean, we jumped right onto here afterwards. Like, I mean, we're late on our
right.
podcast by a day and a half because we've been, yeah,
Yeah, it's a little raw for me. So I just want to add in here a good takeaway for that is uncertainty does not mean failure. It means
yeah,
transformation because we had a lot of uncertainty and we were angry and we were nippy with each other and it just it felt like we were failing at something because her and I, like she said, we are so driven by lists, by dates, by commitments, and we don't miss commitments. We don't miss
action
dates,
items.
right?
Yep.
And it was a huge transformation. So I think that's a good takeaway just because, it's very raw for me right now, folks.
It's very, we're deep in it. And I love this. You don't have to chase what's meant for you.
Exactly. And that wraps up our 6 week in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
Yeah. You, if it screamed to you when the idea came to you originally this 6 week. And I'm like, oh my God, Natalie just created another, here we go. But when we talked about it, I went, oh my God, Natalie just created this real, and now the wheels are turning. And then we kept going and going and going. And then we started going backwards and, snarky little, mostly me. Um,
Well, and trying to hit our dates and trying to hit our
right.
recordings and
And
trying
trying to
like
do that. And the fact is, it
just
was going to happen. We knew that always. We
and
never let go
writing
of the idea
content
that
is not easy. Like writing
no,
content is getting everything down on paper and then making it flow right and
yeah,
just the process and the reprocess
no,
of it.
no, no. We are, yeah. I don't know that this will be listed on Gaia anytime soon, but because, content
No.
creation, they'll call us for other stuff. They will. I already know it.
Look at her manifesting right in front of you
But
guys live.
they will, right? But they will not, number one, have us create the video for it. Somebody else will be like, no, we have producers for that. You guys just go over here and sit down and we'll ask you questions. That's my jam. That's what we should do is that's, I'm manifesting now another way to do our courses. We have some of our members, we give them the list of things that they need to ask us about and talk about, and then we just recite it back.
Okay, slow down there, Cheech.
All right, so maybe not a great idea. Not right now. We have two more, actually four more I've got to get done, but not on a task line yet. Hmm.
No.
It'll all happen. The point is you put it out, you trust the process, and know that divine timing and spirit is working for you. And if it if it is on your path and it's meant for you, it will happen. Flat out, it will. It's just not going to happen when you say you want it to. The time that you need, beg, 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 want, I'll give my soul, my left eye, my whatever, if only, if only, if only. That's when it's going to go right on by because that's not your time. So relax.
Perfect.
Like what you should have been telling me and I could have been telling you. So now we are going to go relax for just a hot
Hindsight's
second.
2020.
Yeah. 10-10 it should be. Anyway.
Well, something like that anyway.
All right. That wraps, right? Short and sweet. The 6 week will be officially available. We
Yeah.
have some splicing to get the video content of those 6 weeks, but it's in the bag. It's in the can, as they would say.
Oh.
So that part is there. Astrology is going to be re-recorded hopefully this week so that people that could not attend live sessions will be able to do that. Manifestation, kick-ass, awesome, like 6 week again, 6 week, 8 week. How long is that one?
That one is a 6 week too, although it's heavy content.
It's really heavy,
Yeah.
very, very heavy manifestation. It is not grab a journal, write down your thoughts manifestation. It takes you a whole different level. The science behind manifestation, all of those different things. You can register for that now. It doesn't officially kick off until February 18th. The reason for the hard date is because we do actually have Q&As scheduled with that. So they'll be live for anybody who is part of that manifestation group. There are live Q&As that are scheduled to take place throughout those 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a whole bunch more. I'm just not remembering.
That's okay. Read our newsletter, go to our website. We have this all written down everywhere.
Everywhere.
Or
It's
just let us know
noted,
if you've got questions.
right? We'll send you a list.
For sure we will. Or our newsletter.
Or a newsletter or bullets or little bulleted action items. And here's a OneNote. Anyway, from high heels to happy feels. We've talked way too much on the camera this weekend. And from Immersive Spirit, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Natalie.
Guys, have an amazing week ahead, and we will see you again on Saturday for our next episode of High Heels to Happy Feels. Bye bye.